I couldn't help myself. Speaking of saving America, joining me now is Congressman Jim Jordan from the great state of Ohio. He's also the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, a member of the Oversight Committee. You know, Jim Jordan, sometimes a little humor goes a long way on kind of a grim day. But I just want to ask you, you're chairing the Judiciary Committee and so forth and so on. I don't know, you know, what is this? This should have been amicably settled out of court.
Yes.
It's a little tiff between the National Archives and Donald Trump. Would you tell me what's going on here? Please.
Well, that's how it's always settled with every other presidential administration. They negotiate back and forth and they work it out. But this situation, this was the Justice Department being politicized and going after their political opponent. And we know that, Larry, because last week we actually deposed the former head of the Washington field office of the FBI, and he was the guy there when they started this investigation into President Trump and the classified documents issue. And he told us, he brought up Crossfire Hurricane, and he said to the Justice Department, why are we treating this like Crossfire Hurricane? I thought we learned. Where's the U.S. attorney assigned to this case? Why are you guys running it out of headquarters like you did for the 2016, 2017 investigation into President Trump? Why don't we, when we go down there, why don't we actually just work with President Trump's lawyers instead of going in and searching the place and raiding the place? And they told him no to every single thing he raised, again, showing how political the FBI and the Justice Department still are. And you're right, Larry. You need to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry, because it is truly, as you said, your monologue was great. It is a sad day for the country when we have this unequal application of the law. That is not supposed to be how America, the greatest nation ever, how we operate.
See, that's the thing, Jim Jordan. You and I have known each other a long time. You know, it's not that the Justice Department is an independent branch of government. It's that the administration, the president who appoints the attorney general, they should work together with a neutral application of the rule of law. That's what's missing here. They tried to turn everything into criminalization, and this espionage charge is a perfect example of that. Espionage, really? The president is allowed by law to deal with classified and unclassified documents in any way he sees fit. You know that.
Yes, that's the controlling case. The court said in Navy versus Egan, the president's ability to classify and control access to national security information flows from the Constitution. He and he alone has control of that. He can declassify, he can classify, he can do what he wants because he's head of the executive branch, he is commander-in-chief. But this is political. And you know why we know it's so political? Who did they pick? Who did Garland pick? Who did the Biden administration pick for the special counsel? Jack Smith. Jack Smith's a guy that we deposed back in May of 2014 because Jack Smith, when he worked at DOJ, was looking for ways, think about this, looking for ways to prosecute the very people who were targeted by Obama's IRS, the very people who were targeted by Lois Lerner. He was trying to prosecute those people, the people who were actually victims. That's the guy they picked. And furthermore, when they got his lawyer's notes, when the crime fraud, when they got his lawyer's notes, are you kidding me? That's something that's sacrosanct when it comes to our criminal justice system. Getting access to your attorney's notes is wrong as it can be. That's how political this operation is.
What was the case? He lost, was the former governor of Virginia, this guy Smith, lost 9-0 before the Supreme Court. It was another one too.
Exactly.
So speaking of breaking the attorney-client privilege, which is really something. I mean, this is really something. Can your Judiciary Committee get some oversight authority over this process?
We are trying. We're actually looking for what normally when they set up these special counsels, there's the scope order, which, you know, the Attorney General tells the special counsel, here's what you're supposed to do. And that's a public document. But typically there's a memorandum that accompanies that at some point. We want that memorandum. We want to know exactly what Merrick Garland told Jack Smith to do with all the parameters, all the people, all the targets, everything. We want to know that. There was that kind of memo we tried to get from Rod Rosenstein back in 2017 when the Mueller special counsel was established. Took us years, but we finally got that thing public. We actually want access to that now, so we're trying to get that, and we're looking at other possible things that make sense for the American people as well.
One more, Jim, one more, just offbeat a little bit. Antony Blinken, okay, he's the Secretary of State. He was a Clinton campaign advisor. He was Obama. He was Biden campaign advisor.
Yeah.
He was the guy who instigated the famous Gang of 51 letter from the Intel people that said the Hunter Biden laptop was a Russian disinformation. Can you get your arms around that? Can you force this guy to testify under oath? Because he's been lying through his teeth the whole time. He's just a dirty political trickster, it seems to me.
Yeah, we're trying, and you're exactly right, Larry. It was Tony Blinken who prompted Mike Morrell to put this letter together, where not just the letter, this is free speech, the First Amendment, God, but we want to protect that. But this was a letter where these people signed it with their title, with, former head of the CIA, former head of ODNI. They signed it with their title, and it was garbage, and it was driven by the Biden campaign to help suppress this story that was frankly critical information for the American people to have prior to the 2020 presidential election. So, yeah, we're trying to get information from Mr. Blinken. We'll continue to press forward and see if we can get that info.
All right. Good luck, Jim Jordan. Keep your sense of humor.